So, to your mind then, having written this book, who are those men who taught the world how to lead England?
They are a mixture of, I guess, adventurers, pioneers, free spirits. I can't think of a catchy title for them, but kind of people got frustrated with the insularity of England, who went out for a variety of reasons. Some because they love football, some because they wanted money, some because they had to pass on the benefit of their wisdom, I guess. And they, over the course of 100 years, and they had some brilliant adventures. They did some amazing things, and at the same time they happened to teach a game to the world that England thought it had all to itself.
But we have. I mean, come on. England are the masters of football. I mean, what are you talking about?
That was pretty much
we rule the world.
The mentality, certainly until the 50s, and even then. So 1953 is kind of the seismic date in English football history,
yes,
when Hungary come to Wembley and win 6-3, and then make sure everyone knows it wasn't a fluke by going back to Budapest and smashing them 7-1. But that, even after that happened, there was still a kind of sense into the 60s and the 70s that England, it was all kind of not real. It was unfortunate, or the foreigners were cheating. And it's only really in the last 10, 15, 20 years that we've gone the other way, perhaps too far the other way, thinking we are inferior in every way, and forgetting maybe some of the things we've done, some of the things we should be proud of.
You think we're now an inferiority complex?
I think there is
English football?
I think there's an inferiority complex. I think there's
foreigners do it best.
Yeah, I think we look at which is, I mean, an inferiority complex is as silly as a superiority complex. Yeah. That people can be talented and gifted and thoughtful wherever they're from. But I think there is a tendency now to look at the exotic and see it as innately better, which is dangerous, but is probably a natural reaction to a century of isolationism, effectively. There were stories that I didn't know. There were some stories that George Rayner, who was the coach of the Sweden team in the 1958 World Cup, I knew his story.
Right.
Jimmy Hogan, who's kind of the father of modern Europe, great-grandfather maybe, of modern European football, I knew some of his story. There were people like Vic Buckingham, who went to Ajax and Barcelona, who's
Sheffield Wednesday manager,
who I had heard of, but had no idea about his significance.
Yeah.
So there were lots of stories in the course of. I kind of knew some, but not all, and learnt a lot more about. So Vic Buckingham kind of became a hero of mine. There was the story that took the most to get together was a guy called Jack Greenwell, who was coach of Barcelona between 1910 and 1927 ish. Went back a bit later on, and I knew nothing about him. I'd never heard of him, and it took hours in the British Library tracking down family members to kind of get any idea. It's still not a complete biography, but his story is incredible. Escaping the Spanish Civil War, destitute in Peru and Colombia, and the only British European manager ever to win the Copa America. Stories like that deserve to be told, and there's a broader lesson in the book that I learned during writing it about England's influence on football, about kind of how a lot of thoughts we think of as being very modern developed, but to find out about those stories was a privilege, and it felt, it sounds very pretentious, it felt an honour to be able to tell those stories that people didn't know, and I think the men involved deserve to have their stories told. Tracing back the kind of genealogy of each of them is fascinating, and I guess to bring it back to the book, a lot of it starts with English coaches, and that's a brilliant sort of influence that England's had on the game that it doesn't always think about.
You're a young man. Will you live long enough to see England win the World Cup? Oh, come on, it's a one-word answer.
Depends how long I live. Yes.
You're a Liverpool fan, yes?
I'm a Liverpool fan.
Okay, let's make it easier then. You're going to live long enough to see you win the Premier League?
Yeah, I'm more confident of that, yeah.
Thanks to Jurgen.
Hopefully thanks to Jurgen, yeah.